Snow-capped mountains in Spokane, the backdrop for a huge matchup in Week 2 of USL League One as Spokane Velocity FC and Union Omaha get their 2026 seasons underway here from One Spokane Stadium. My name is Parker Johnson, and thank you so much for joining us this Sunday evening. Let's take a look at how the off-season went for both of these two squads. Some overhauls in store, and for Spokane, they did retain a lot of their key players. The biggest loss was David Garcia, a first-team All-USL League One center back, but he's replaced by Nick Spielman coming in from Tormenta, and so is Sean Lewis, adding to a deep goalkeeping core, including Carlos Marancio. Also, Joe Gallardo, in addition, in attack, and he will be up against his former team in Union Omaha for this one. Luis Gil, another all-league first-team selection for Spokane last year as they made it all the way to the League One final, and he is the connective tissue for this attack. Expect him to try to find those pockets in behind the Union Omaha midfield and link the forwards with the midfielders for Spokane as they impress their style here at home in Week 1. Looking at Union Omaha's offseason, they did lose a little bit more than Spokane. They lost 27 of their 48 goals from last season, so it was crucial that they brought in some attacking firepower. The main man, Kempis Tequila, from the reigning USL League One champs, won Knoxville. He had 7 goals last season. And Adrian Bilhart, another important attacker coming in from Richmond Kickers. Gabriel Cabral, some enforcements in the midfield to replace the likes of Max Schneider, Charlie Ostrom, and Mark Bronick, as Dom Casciato took a few players with him to Tampa Bay in the championship. So it will fall on the captain, Rashid Nuhu, entering his 7th season as the Union Omaha goalkeeper, put up 8 clean sheets, 60 saves and 25 appearances last year, and of course he's League One's all-time leader in clean sheets by a long shot. But the biggest job for him tonight, keeping that new look back line organized. Owusu still back there and Coleman in the middle, but there are some new players outside of them and some midfielders in front who will have to get used to playing with this Union Omaha team. These are expected to be 2 of the top teams in the league this season. We are thrilled for this matchup. And starting lineups and kickoff are coming your way right after this short break. Stay with us.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with 3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
Welcome back to One Spokane Stadium here in the Pacific Northwest. A chilly one and a snowy scene in Spokane this week as we get set for a potential League One contender showdown. Number 2 and number 3 in the preseason power rankings set to do battle between Union Omaha and Spokane Velocity. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, and tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. First for Spokane Velocity, under third-year head coach Lee Viedman. You got Nico Brett leading the line up top, so Anwar Pelaez, who has scored twice against Union Omaha last season, is on the bench and ready to fire. Gallardo on the left wing as he goes against his old team. And that team is, of course, Union Omaha. As we switch over to their starting 11, and for them, it's a trio of newcomers in that 4-2-2 look that Vincenzo Candela went with once he took over from Dom Casciato. Pato Botello Faz leading the line. As we are straight underway here from One Spokane Stadium, and quickly, it is Spokane in the black jerseys today. Looks a little unfamiliar. They've got some blue in their kris as well, but the blue shirts, those are Union Omaha, riding with the Glacial Current uniforms on the road for this one. Parker Johnson, happy to have you here on ESPN Plus. Sunday night USL League One action between two of the expected top teams this season. Of course, Omaha winning that double in 2024, getting hot last season once head coach Vincenzo Candela took over. And Spokane coming off back-to-back final appearances, trying to get over the hump this year. They've got an early free kick to work with, and Neil Binyals whispering something to Colin Fernandez. He looks ready to strike. Binyals straight into the wall as Botello Faz blocked it away. Out comes Rashid Nuhu to just quell some early pressure. Icy look for the Omaha captain in the all-white strip for this one. 7th season now with Los Bujos. "43 degrees at kickoff, and that is a welcome change after a very cold week in Spokane. Couple inches of snow coming through. As Lee Viedman said, their new players got a taste of what the random weather can look like sometimes here in the Pacific Northwest early on in the year. No snow was in the forecast. They woke up to it on Friday. And for Omaha, thankfully, no travel issues as they made their way up. But this has been a tough place for them to play. 0-3 in 3 attempts on the road against Spokane. A matchup that has played out 8 times already, despite just 2 seasons where both of these sides have been in League One. They played 3 times last year, and all 3 came after Vincenzo Candela was brought in as the interim coach. So he does have that head coaching experience up against Lee Viedman's team, but he knew him from his time as an assistant previously with Union Omaha as well. So these two teams very familiar with each other. They know how they want to play. Early on, we'll get a taste of which team is able to imprint their style on this game more. For now, it's Union Omaha, controlling with Knapp. Sergio Ors into the play. Owusu. And now up the right side, cross fired in. Ors trying to take it down. Well defended, though. That is Simon Fitch putting in the tackle, the former Richmond Kickers man. As we take a look at our keys to the match, presented by forward. Oh, pardon me. We'll take a look at the injury report first. That is also important information this time of the match. Brought to you by Kinetic Chiropractic, a modern approach to chiropractic care. Marky Hernandez, Bryce Meredith, not fit for this one. Omaha with a full squad in tow. Had to make some tough selection choices, as these are two really, really deep teams after their off-season transactions. They were already two of the better squads in League One, and then both teams just bringing in even more championship-level talent, whether that be actually USL Championship or just players who have had great success in League One. The likes of Kempis Tequila joining Union Omaha. He is on the bench for this one. And Spokane bringing in Joe Gallardo from Omaha, Nick Spielman and Sean Lewis and Moses Mensah, a trio of players that will feature at the back this season, but Spielman the only one right into the starting lineup. It is Fitch who sees it out for a corner here in the 5th minute of play, as Union Omaha off to a strong start, possessing more of it and getting some entries into that Spokane defensive third. This is the ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Curled in, flicked at the near post, and it rattles the outside of the side netting. Boris Navarro, the man who nearly ticked that in. And now we give you our forward keys to the game. Spokane, one of the strongest points of their team is limiting mistakes, and that makes them so hard to play against. That's what Vincenzo Candela, the Omaha coach, told me heading into this one. And he wants his team to be bold with the ball. That was one of the main changes as he took over from Dom Casciato last season. He wanted them to be aggressive in the final third, step that line up high, and not be afraid to take a risky pass. He wants to create quality chances over quantity. So looking for incisive passes and being willing to be brave with the ball at their feet. Here they are, as Bill Hard able to curve his run inside. Pato into the box, shepherded by Spielman and forced back out wide. Yunus Budadi brings Wooten into the play. Budadi, see posted up there at right back, placing the ever-present Dion Akoff, who made his way to Tampa Bay Rowdies with Casciato. He's on the ball here, deflected for a throw. Budadi, 145 appearances in the USL Championship. He will be up against Waldeck on that left side. He's got Wooten to work with. Spokane really likes to get those, or Union Omaha rather, really likes to get those outside backs involved, overlapping the more narrow midfield players. Long release from Fernandez, nowhere near Siobhan John Brown, as Spokane have really struggled to get a foothold in this match. All Union Omaha through the first 8 minutes. Soaking up pressure, certainly something that Lee Wiedman's team is comfortable with, though. Such a strong shape out of possession. They have one of the lowest lines of confrontation in USL League One. They tend to wait until the other team crosses half field. There's the ball over the top, looking for Pato Batelofaz, who's straight offside. See the snowbanks up against the advertising boards here at One Spokane Stadium, and some traveling Bujos in the background. Here's a meaningful possession for Velocity FC as Nico Brett wins a foul. That was Boudadi who got caught coming through the back of the Jamaican forward. Brett preferred to Anwar Pelaez from the start in this one. He had 5 goals, 1 assist last season in his 28 appearances. The starts pretty much split between he and Pelaez. Pelaez, a much stronger start to the campaign, and Brett tended to be the man towards the end of the year. That was one of the few areas of the pitch that Spokane did not bring in any reinforcements, at least not yet. They do claim that there could be some more announcements coming still, despite the flurry of player signings they revealed this week, snatching up a few players from South Georgia Tormenta like Nick Spielman, Sean Lewis, who played in One Knoxville last year, and Moses Mensah, who came down from the championship. And the pattern in some of those signings was positions where Spokane was already very strong. You look at Carlos Marancio, who is on the ball now in his bright orange goalkeeper jersey. He will be backed up by the back-to-back goalkeeper of the year, Sean Lewis, according to the team's announcement. And the signing of Spielman, a bit more important as they had David Garcia leaving in the offseason, but Mensah brought in, he's a left back. They've got Derek Waldeck out there. They bring in Simon Fitch, even though they have Lucky Opara at right back. A team that is very much too deep at every position, but they felt that the likes of Brett and Pelaez were already a very talented strike force, as Brett is the one whistled for the foul this time, taking down Owusu in a dangerous play. So the Omaha native Coleman gets us back rolling. Cameron Miller knocks it back to Marancio. Pressure coming towards him quickly, and he had to take some evasive action. Boudadi has been the hub of a lot of that possession up the right for Union Omaha in the early going. How's the left back, Ryan Jiba. Earning just his 4th start as a Union Omaha player. He knocks the ball forward. Wooten tried to get the return pass to him. Nothing doing, and another spell of possession without a shooting opportunity created. Scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, Casa Tap House, Canala, People's Waffle, and Method Juice Cafe. Strong header. Looks like there may have been a hint of offside on Wooten, but play continues. The Englishman has it back. Skewing his touch infield. Ball rotated by Edri Caceres. Oh, it's a lovely incisive pass that time and a big challenge. This is going to require some extra attention as it was Miller. It looked like he took the brunt of it, but it was a hit to the upper body in that head area. Such a dangerous play there. The pass was great coming in behind. That was Boudadi, the right back, trying to run in behind. He's a player who is never afraid to get into the action, Boudadi. 9 yellow cards in his 21 starts last season with Las Vegas Lights. So we get a look at Vinny Candela, still just 31 years old. 10-year playing career that saw him lift a Players' Shield with Richmond Kickers. Also played with Tormenta, Charleston Battery, and a former edition of our new friends in League One, the New York Cosmos. But Candela really a player's coach, and he told me that when he was thinking about which players to recruit this offseason, try to fill some of those gaps left by the departures after the season. So we see Udati thankfully back to his feet. It was Candela saying that he was about bringing in good people most of all. And that's a philosophy that Lee Wiedman shares, the Spokane head man, who's having a discussion here with Neil Lavity, longtime forward Madison assistant, who has made the change and made his way to the Pacific Northwest. Lee Wiedman told me that his role has gotten a little closer to that of a classic English manager, in that Lavity helps with a lot of the day-to-day operations, running through trainings and practices, and it's allowed Wiedman to take a little bit of a step back, bring a new voice on a daily basis, which is important when you have a team with so much consistency like Spokane, to switch up some of the messaging and just keep that voice fresh for these players, not let them get complacent. After making back-to-back finals, he was adamant that they still need to take some steps forward and they need to come home with a championship this year. They spent like it, they recruited like it, whether it's players or coaches, and we've got some work to do here because Union Omaha off to a great start through 15 minutes, and Spokane have had very little of the ball since a free kick in the opening moments. They've really failed to get it into the attacking zone whatsoever. Coleman and Owusu split very wide. His long ball forward took a slight deflection, and that helped Fitch claim it back for Spokane. Colin Fernandez showing short. As Omaha tries to bracket that press. Vinyals with a big spray looking for Joe Gallardo. Hasn't been a lot of service coming his way just yet. Now pressure from Gill. Coleman forced to go long. This is better from Spokane. And out it goes. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Entry pass to Gallardo. Not able to make it stick for Waldeck. Wooten on the regain. Now it's forward to Botello Faz. Not the best pass, but very well controlled on the far side. That is Billhard twisting, turning, finding a teammate, and can Botello Faz catch up to it? He cannot. Miller and Marancio combine to win the race. Again, you can see the patterns forming for Omaha. We've had a lot more joy in possession in the early stages. Just one shot apiece, though, and that was something that Vincenzo Candela spoke to me about in terms of his team's play, is that he wants those quality opportunities, and he said that because Spokane are so good defensively, sometimes they will let you have the ball and they will let you gain some confidence, but they don't actually let you have that shot. And he was very specific about his team's need to capitalize when they do get in those attacking areas, make some chances count. 12 final third entries for the Bujos, just 4 for Spokane so far. Owusu drawn out, and Udati played forward for Vinyals. His cross skewed behind, and that brings up a Spokane corner kick. This is the ICCU Corner Kick, your financial success fan club. Soon's playing for Vinyals, the USL League One all-time assist leader. Trying to add to his career tally of 22 as he puts up 4 fingers to signify the play call. Barcelona native, just awaiting the ready for play from the referee, who's watching closely at some happenings in the penalty area. There's a gaggle of velocity in Omaha players between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. Now they run. The ball goes low to the near post. Fitch couldn't win the header. Owusu with the second clearance as well. A volleyed effort. Wasn't bad from Colin Fernandez. And that is Spokane's second shot of the match. Yet to trouble Nuhu's goal. The eyes got real big for Colin Fernandez, and how could you blame him? 29-year-old who's been here since the jump for Spokane. Irreplaceable in that midfield. He is missing his typical partner, though, today. Usually in there with Andre Lewis most often over the past couple seasons. But it's been more of a single pivot with Vinyals helping out a little bit. They've got both Vinyals and Gill in there from the start, so a slightly more attacking setup in the middle of the pitch. Here's Vinyals doing the defensive work. And they have a free kick coming out, taken quickly by the Spaniard. First half flying by between the number 2 and number 3 teams in the preseason USL League One power rankings. Both yet to play as they go last here in match week 2. This Fernandez drawing the foul. Referee getting close to his limit and just discussing here with Brandon Knapp, second-year Union Omaha man. Windermere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our charity of the month. It's more than a home, it's a way to give back. Please visit our site at www.windermerefoundation.com. Early going, been interesting to see Lawrence Wooten playing alongside Botello Foz in that front 2 for Union Omaha. Midfield man by Knapp and Edry Caceres. Here's Bill Hard. Trying to use Wooten as a bit of a backboard as he navigated through some black jerseys. High pressure from Caceres. Union Omaha really up for it right now, pressuring every single ball. But Spokane able to break through. Fitch tried to dig out across in the direction of Luis Gill. That couldn't connect with the Spokane captain. Gill coming off of an all USL League One performance last year, made the first team for the second time in his career at this level. Former MLS man, US national team player. Owusu carrying it forward. That's a dangerous place to lose it, and this could present an opportunity for Spokane Velocity. Nico Brett to the back post. Gill! Nuhu at the ready. And that is the first big flashpoint of the game. All it takes is that one mistake. Owusu losing out as he dribbled out of the back. Brett knew where his teammate was, and it wasn't a bad strike at all from Spokane's number 10, but Nuhu very well placed to stop it. A frigid afternoon brought to a boil in the 25th minute, and now Spokane look like they've received a boost from that moment. Can they capitalize? Gill looking for the flick. It was Gallardo tracking his way inside, and Gill just slightly misplaced a touch. Easy to make a mistake with that challenging of a technique, but let's get another look at that last opportunity. See Gill's plant foot go just as he struck it, and you wonder if that may have affected his stability as he put his right boot through the back of the ball. Certainly the best chance of the match so far. He just knows how to pop up in those little spaces. Now John Brown on the dribble. Vinyals with green grass to run into. Fitch combines with John Brown, eyeing up across, pausing. He drops it off to Fernandez. Vinyals looking for the soft bounce off of the sticky turf. It's funny, you can tell the differences in some of these patches in League One, even the ones that are the artificial turf surface, some more bouncy than others, some a little more flat track than others. You think of like FC Naples, that ball zips around and bounces, almost picks up speed. And this Spokane pitch, a lot more soft and receptive when you play a ball over the top. Spokane's so good at reading those bounces here at home, and it's those little margins that have led to their great record in this stadium, not to mention a 3-0 mark against Union Omaha when they've traveled here. Gill can shoot from range. He opts to pass. John Brown, deflection, ended up making it easier for Nuhu as he settles the danger. Union Omaha have hardly touched the ball since that Gill chance some 3 minutes ago. It's a great illustration of how these type of matches, especially against high-quality opponents, especially early in the season when you don't know a lot about the other team, can really have that feeling out period at the beginning of the game. We had about 20 minutes where both teams trying to find their system a little bit. Omaha with more possession, but not ultimately doing a whole lot with it. And it takes that one moment for the game to break open. And the momentum can shift rapidly. Elite Minds. Unlock your mind, unlock your game. Visit our website today. Fernandez looking for the whistle, and the referee obliges. Telefaz not best pleased with that decision. Miles, just speeding up and slowing down the play at his will. He's the target for the ball from Marancio. He's able to draw the contact. A very clear difference in the way that Spokane and Omaha are going about this defensively. Omaha touch tight on every pass in just about every area of the pitch, really trying to force turnovers and create some chances to move in transition. Spokane have played their line a lot lower, especially when Omaha passed it around the back, but you see the pressure there again from Los Bujos on the road, coming in with a lot of energy. It's hard to do at this phase of the season, or at least it's hard to keep up for 90 minutes. We're starting to get to that half-hour mark in the first half where those legs may begin to tire just a touch, but cold air here at One Spokane Stadium, breathing some life into the early stages. Beautiful touch off the chest of Billhard. And Ors was attempting to begin the underlap just as the ball was played in his direction. Sergio Ors Navarro, leading goal scorer from last season. Tallied 10 for Union Omaha in his rookie campaign in USL League One. And 8 of those 10 came after Vincenzo Candela took over as the manager. It's a noted difference. And I asked Candela this week, what changed? And he said, man, Ors was always that player. He feels like he will have a similar impact this season, but his challenge to the Spanish forward was, can he maintain that consistency? Because he scored 8 goals in a 3-month period. And Candela wants to see him do that over the 10-month season. He said he has full faith that he'll get there, and he praised Orr's ability to play multiple positions for Union Omaha. He's staged out on the left for this one, but he can play up top, he can play through the middle as well, and regardless of where he is on the field, his goal-scoring ability is present, and his defensive work is something that never stops. Omaha trying to reestablish their rhythm. Wooten with the ball to feet, able to turn. Pato out to Billhard, overlapping run from Budati, slotted across. Ors was the man coming onto it. And his feet were just never right to really swing that one goalwards. Tried to touch it on and eventually cleared by Spokane, but Vinny Candela loving it on the sideline, clapping up his team. Side-to-side play, Budati on the overlap. Miller with not only the block, but the clearance to boot. To force a save out of Carlos Marancio. He's got some tough competition this season with the signing of Sean Lewis to keep that #1 goalkeeper position. But it is his for now with Lewis on the bench. Caceres has his pass intercepted, but again, trying to play that bold pass, that line-splitting ball that Candela loves. Jiba joining from the left, the South Sudanese wingback. Knapp into Caceres. He had eyes on another ball in behind. That was Billhard daggering his way through. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Wherever you may be tuned in on this Sunday evening, we've glad that you've joined us for a little bit of March Madness in USL League One. My name is Parker Johnson here on ESPN Plus from Spokane Stadium. 43 degrees at kickoff, felt like 39 with snowbanks up against the boards. And breeding some playoff level intensity between two teams who matched up in the 2024 USL League One final. Two teams that very much hope to see themselves at the end again this year. Sergio Ors Navarro. Simon Fitch all over him. Caceres has had a lovely start to this match. He gets it back from Wooten. Billhard. Moving into the half space, drops it back, cross from Budati. Ors Navarro, well covered inside the penalty area. Caceres and Knapp. Couldn't get it around the corner for Pato. Caceres clipped in, Ors Navarro! Nobody home with the back post, and he was offside anyway, but man, every time that Edry Caceres gets on the ball, he has been able to find something in behind, something between the lines. That time it was Ors who ended up at a pretty tight angle and went a little bit early on his run. Spokane starting to pick up on those signals. When Caceres does look up, they know he's looking for that pass in behind, and they're just squeezing that line up a little bit. Lumberbeard Brewing is proud to be the preferred craft brewery partner for USL Spokane. Visit our downtown tasting room for expertly brewed craft beer and food at 25 East 3rd Avenue. Open 7 days a week. Strong challenge from Wooten. Free right on top of it. Spokane able to play on. Match has ebbed and flowed. Omaha took the opening phase. A chance gifted to Luis Gil. Produced a great save from Nuhu, and then a brief period of pressure from Spokane. And since then, it's been the visitors reestablishing themselves as the superior team over the last 5 minutes or so. And surprisingly, based on the history of this series, no goals to show so far. These two teams average a combined 3.9 goals per game the 8 times they've played previously. A couple of crunchy challenges down on the near sideline. And the players can't believe that no whistle was blown in either direction. It's the afters that Ors was upset with there from Simon Fitch, and then as the play continued, it led to the follow-up challenge from Jiba on John Brown. But you let the first one go, and kind of got to make the same call on the second one. And our referee perhaps starting to get to that point where he may have to consider a first yellow card of the game, but so far, none shown. It's been a well-played match between these two. Feel the intensity. Caceres. Budati. That ball was aimed for Ors Navarro, who's making a habit of crashing the box from that left side, but The little touch from Wooten, as he wasn't sure if the cross was meant for him or not. Took away all the danger, and Marancio happy to go long here in the 40th minute. Coleman quickly on the spot. Heel. Finds Viñals between the lines. John Brown. Brett was waiting eagerly just to the right of the penalty spot, and the cutback didn't reach him. But that's what Spokane was looking for. Spielman with a strong challenge, played forward, and Brett closed down by 2 Union Omaha defenders. Sniffed out the danger, and Coleman collapsed to it, as did Knapp. Nico Brett still waiting for his moment. Nearly had the assist to Gill. Hasn't been on the end of one just yet. Brett upended Owusu. Crowd absolutely pulsating for this season opener at One Spokane Stadium. Velocity FC and the City Lights kit to kick off this 2026 campaign. Ambitions for more after back-to-back trips to the USL League One finals. Brett striding into space. He's got Owusu with him. Back post ball, picks out Gallardo. He tried to control, but gave Budati just enough time to steal back and touch it over the end line. Corner coming for Spokane as their former Union Omaha man trying to make an impact against his old club. Dealt with a lot of injuries last season, Gallardo. Wasn't at his best in the second half of the season and hardly played a role once Candela took over. He's got a point to prove today as Viñals taking the ICCU corner kick. Gill attempting to get on the end of it. One thing that both teams have done very well so far is defend the set pieces. Lufaz playing out with Bill Hard. Knapp into Wooten, who can turn. Wooten playing as that second forward so far. That's a spot where you wonder if Kempis Tequila might get some minutes in the second half. Wooten's seen a lot of the ball, though, and been very productive out of that spot, interchanging often with Bill Hard and Oars off the outside channels. Budati, fancy footwork. Bit off perhaps a bit more than he could chew. Gallardo serving some lies to Bill Hard as Spokane respond with some meaningful possession out of the back. Switch of play from Brett, who takes off into the channel. Gill through the middle, and John Brown caught up there by Jiba. Game remaining open into the final couple of minutes of the first half. Caceres at the controls. Owusu has Billhard there. Waldeck stepped forward and gave him space in behind. Billhard to the back post! Oh, the goal was begging for Jiba. I think he may have slammed into the post on his way through, or the stanchion behind the goal. That was a really dangerous play. And it made him take his eye off the ball momentarily. An ill-timed step from Waldeck gave Billhard the opportunity to play this across, and John Brown did make it difficult on Jiba, but he has to be scoring from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 2 minutes.
So we enter 2 minutes of first half stoppage time as the 24-year-old trots back. No worse for wear. Win big at Spokane's favorite casino, Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, located in Airway Heights. Enthralling first half action so far. One very notable chance for both sides. Spokane's fell to Luis Gil, forcing a save rather, out of Rashid Nuhu. And that last opportunity for Jiba, probably the best of them all in the first half. We'll see if there's time for one more opportunity from the set piece here from Edri Caceres. Caceres born in El Salvador, but calls Houston home, grew up in the Houston Dynamo Academy. Wasn't able to carve out much playing time last season at Lexington. He's got a home in Omaha if he keeps playing like he has in the first half. Caceres curls. Coleman was looking for the header, but couldn't flick it forward. Second ball, Billhard trying to win it and draws a foul there on Fernandez. This will be a very nice free kick position for the visitors. And what will likely be the final play of the first half here in Eastern Washington. Looks a little far for a strike, and the way that Caceres is shaping up, I would guess this is a pass or maybe something off the training ground. Instead, he goes for goal. Marancio low, out for a corner, and it looks like there will be time to take it. Caceres to swing it in. Hand over shoulder, near post ball. Pato cleared out by Spielman, and that will take us to the locker room for halftime. Well, 0-0, but some entertaining action in the season opener for Union Omaha and Spokane Velocity. One huge chance for both sides, but limited opportunity as these two League One title contenders in 2026 try to start the season off with a W in a rivalry that goes back to the 2024 title game. We are gonna step aside for halftime, but stick with us. We got a great halftime show coming up and another big 45 minutes of action here in week 2 of the USL League One season.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? will never tell.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Halftime at One Spokane Stadium. Fans trying to stay warm after a simmering first half of action. Scoreless at the break as we turn our attention to the League One Team of the Week from last week, with some huge debuts coming in last weekend. The rookie Denis Kruchenkov starting off hot for the defending champs, 1 knocks, and I don't know if you guys were paying attention this week, but that home win streak snapped after a big performance in week 1. Also, AC Boise, a team that these Spokane fans are certainly going to get familiar with as a new regional rival, putting up a number of players in the Team of the Week and Coach of the Week, Nate Miller, after their win in their debut in League One. So let's take a look then at the goal and the save of the week from last weekend, the very best of USL League One.
Shape rewrite a little bit, passing lanes that maybe that weren't there before, like this one for Glasser, deflected backwards, now a chance to sell for Garcia!
What a moment for Chris Garcia, the first goal of the season for FC Naples in a home win. A deflected cross allows him to take advantage of the space. 5 guys backed in for Fort Wayne expecting a cross, but Garcia shows off some magic, the touch, and it's all about the finish. Garcia nestles that ball into the far side. That is your select USL League One goal of the week.
Westchester now strolling forward. This is Diaz who drops the shoulder. Quality kick save there from Gary Beck.
This week on USL All Access, Lexington and Louisville give us a Commonwealth Cup to remember on opening day. Plus, Ryan Martin, the head coach of Oakland Roots, joins the show.
How a relationship from his childhood and his father's best friend led to his first ever coaching job and helped lay the foundation for some of the better growth we've seen at the youth level in this country.
Every Tuesday, USL All Access on SiriusXM FC, and the next day, the USL YouTube page.
USL League One kicks off. Players Shield winners.
He does it again! Their first ever goal in club history!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
We are back at halftime here in Spokane. 0-0 between Velocity FC and Union Omaha. A lot of fun action left in the second half. We're going to take a look at the scoreboard from around USL League One this weekend with our weekend scores. Portland and New York Cosmos going at it in the first home game for the Cosmos. A 3-1 win for the Hearts of Pine. Another expansion team, Corpus Christi, going level 2-2 with FC Naples. And probably the biggest surprise of the night, One Knox losing at home to Forward Madison, a new look team full of young talent, and One Knox with a 21-game home unbeaten run finally snapped. So it has been an exciting weekend throughout USL League One. No scoreless games, though. And they wanted to save this for Sunday night, for this big showdown that everybody's been waiting for. Eyes of the league on this one. And we're yet to see our first goal, unfortunately. But we will send it to the news and notes from USL League One.
Halftime in USL League One. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for this week. A pair of first-year clubs in USL collected wins in their inaugural matches. Dennis Kostashin scored in the 75th minute to lift AC Boise to a 1-0 win over Sarasota Paradise, which was also playing its first ever League One match. In the USL Championship, Brooklyn FC defeated Indy 11 1-0 with a penalty kick from last year's League One Golden Boot winner, JC Obregon. And how's this for a debut? One Knoxville's Denis Kruchenkov scored not 1, but 2 goals in his first professional game, helping Knoxville get past Westchester SC 3-2. They say veteran leadership always matters, and that's what we have to start the season in Greenville. Brandon Frick, Evan Lee, and Tyler Polak have combined to play more than 42,000 career minutes. That's the top 3 minutes played in League One history. A pair of matches over in the championship will be broadcast in Spanish on 2DN Wednesday the 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Lexington SC hosts Brooklyn. Then on Saturday the 28th, a 4 p.m. Eastern start between Detroit City and Charleston Battery. That's a look at the headlines for this week. Let's get you back to your match for the second half.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, How did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day? In time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
Fans trying to stay warm as we approach second half kickoff. Spokane Velocity and Union Omaha locked at 0 after 45 minutes of play. If you joined us late, let's take a look at our first half highlights. There was quite a bit of action despite the scoreline. 5 shots in total in this match, and it took a while to get our first attempt on goal, but man, Colin Fernandez going for it all, and really he made pretty good contact with this one. He got that arc going. It was dipping, but just a little bit too late on Nuhu's goal. Then it was a back post ball to Luis Gil, who made good contact, but his plant foot slips from under him just as he goes to strike it, which may have took a little bit of sting out of the shot. Still required a good save, though, from Nuhu. First chance here we'll see from Union Omaha. A little hesitation from Bilhard that gave Jiba enough time to run in at the back post. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly how he missed this one. Fair play to Siobhan John Brown for sliding back in and doing his best to make it tough, but Jiba skewing it wide. And then this was basically the final play of the first half. Edri Caceres had a very impressive first 45 minutes. He was full of confidence and decided to take the shot on from the direct free kick, but a save from Mauricio. So 0-0 is, of course, the score line. 4 shots apiece, 1 shot on target each, and a slight possession edge for Union Omaha on the road here against Spokane, usually a team that does have a lot of the ball. This game really went in ebbs and flows, though. There was periods, especially at the beginning, and then towards the last few minutes of the half, where Union Omaha had a lot more of the ball. In that middle period, just after that shot we saw in the highlights from Luis Gil that was saved by Nuhu, that really sparked to life a good sequence from Spokane. So both sides have shown an ability to play here. These two are serious contestants in 2026 in USL League One. And Adrian Bilhard just a little too eager to go for the second half, but we feel you, Adrian. And now we are all set to start off the second 45. Parker Johnson here with you on this Sunday afternoon in Spokane. So happy that you all could join us across the country on ESPN Plus for a rematch of the 2024 USL League One final. Spokane in the black City Lights kit, and Omaha in the away blue kits with the neon yellow socks. I know it could look a little bit off-putting, used to seeing that blue as one of Spokane's colors, and likewise black for Union Omaha, but these are the new strips for the season. See who can make them look good in the second half. Owusu knocking it forward. Budati has been involved in lots of the play in his Union Omaha debut, the new right back who pressures against Derek Waldeck. And Waldeck going for the switch to bring it out of the back. Simon Fitch pressuring on Ors Navarro. The throw to Union Omaha. scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, Casa Tap House, Canala, People's Waffle, and Method Juice Cafe. Hope you've got your snacks and settled in for the second half. We are certainly expecting some goals out of this matchup. Historically, both teams have managed to score 6 out of the 8 times that they have met. One of the only times that one of the teams was held scoreless was that 2024 final, which Omaha took 3-0 at home, and that does certainly linger in the minds of these Spokane players and Coach Lee Wiedemann, who expressed his desire to improve the roster even further and go for that first championship this year. Budati needed to put more on that cross. Pato disappointed at the back post that the ball didn't reach him. No real presentable opportunities for Omaha's number 9 in the first half. He's playing up top, partnered alongside Lawrence Wooten. Yet to see Kempis Tequila, who is available on the bench. Dylan Borjak, another player who could make a difference as an attacker in the second half. Another new signing for Union Omaha. We'll see their former attacker, Joe Gallardo, on the near side in this second half. Pressure on Budati. Back heel to Bilhard. Incisive pass collected by Pato. Knapp, positive touch, out to Jiba. Omaha happy to recycle. Spokane picking their moments to pressure. That's just it. Sometimes you wait long enough and the other team will make the mistake for you. They get impatient. They try to look for that window to pass it through, and too strong that time from Los Bujos as the 509 Syndicate keeping the beat here at One Spokane Stadium. Coach Wiedemann told me that there's a real energy about Spokane right now. Not only the start of the season for Velocity, they'll have another home game next Saturday as well in less than a week's time, but also Spokane Zephyr in the middle of their season in the Super League. Picked up a 3-0 win last night here at this stadium. And Seattle Sounders and the Reign coming to town as well. Or Zavarro. Pato trying to pick out the top corner and sailing high and wide. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. I mentioned it a moment ago, but the first division teams coming to town from over in Seattle is Lumen Field being redone and patched up. A little bit of a facelift before the World Cup, making sure that the surface there is FIFA approved. And that gives a great opportunity for the fans in Spokane to watch some top division men's soccer and women's soccer. Caceres will get the first booking of the match. Somebody's always got to be the first, and we were starting to feel it towards the end of the first half that Referee had let a few plays like this go, and it was only a matter of time before the grimace on the face there of the Salvadorian midfielder tells you that, well, there it was.
In the 52nd minute.
But Cacero's really impressing in the first half. 7 appearances in all competitions for Lexington SC last season. And he's been planted at the base of the Omaha midfield, intent on making forward passes all throughout those first 45 minutes. Bill Hart breaking into space. Cuts to his right, and Botello Foz was offside. Bill Hart making a little bit of a mess of that, and he knows that that was a big, big opportunity. Marancio taking the extra moment to compose himself after the challenge from Botello Foz. Candela organizing the press. Just hear him in the background barking out some orders. Omaha pressing a lot higher than Spokane have in this match, and they've got it with another regain. Potentially a 5-on-3 situation. Bill Hard looking for a cross, and it didn't come back far enough for Wooten to be able to reach it. Marancio with steady hands yet again. And Spokane have to be careful the way that they're giving the ball away. Keep presenting opportunities to Adrian Vilhard, and eventually something will come out of one of these. See the frustration on Fernandez's face. He was chasing back on that play. You worry that he might have felt a muscle. I've been there as a player. Sometimes you just know, and that frustrated reaction, if you've been there, you know how it feels. Especially early on in the season, both teams still working towards the full match fitness. So he'll get some treatment and a chance for an early second half timeout for Lee Wiedemann and Candela to try to rally their troops and figure out the best way through. A couple presentable chances for Omaha early here in the second half, picking up where they left off. I would say they've slightly edged it between these two sides, but a very even game so far. Candela can be very proud of the way his team has performed on the road. A place they've never won here in Spokane, an 0-3 record, all 3 losses coming by a single goal. Not an easy task to start the season against last year's finalists, but everything that's been thrown his way, he has truly been up for. A 10-4-5 record as the interim head coach last year, took over July 9th. Ended the season on a 12-match unbeaten run, and they went out in penalties to FC Naples in the quarterfinals in the playoffs. Asked Candela what he was most proud of from that stretch to end the season that took his team from 11th in the standings all the way up to 5th, and he said, "I'm proud of how the guys responded to the change, accepted my new ideas, and really ran with it." He said it would have been easy for them to see him as a coach who's only been in the professional game for a year and a half at that point, and maybe switch off a little bit. Union Omaha was down below the playoff line, but they really took everything on board, and him being such a player's coach clearly struck a chord with the squad, who really rallied around him. Made a almighty storm to the playoffs. And they'll be hungry for more with the way that things ended in FC Naples on penalty kicks. We're getting word that Jack Denton is being prepared to come in for Colin Fernandez, who sees his season opener come to an unceremonious end. Pulled up on that last break, so on comes Denton, the 27-year-old Englishman out of Missouri State. Started 9 matches, made 19 appearances last year with 1 goal to his name in the league. But a more than capable replacement for Fernandez. First touches for Denton. Understandably, a little bit off. We'll get a second chance here. Biting in with the challenge and knocking it back to Cameron Miller. Renewed energy in the Omaha press after that brief break in the action. Siobhan John Brown through the central channel has Gallardo out wide. Vinyals. Gill on the ground. Nico Brett. Almost as if his plant foot got in the way. He's trying to swing his hips all the way around, and the slide draw pass from Gill. Maybe even a little bit of a slip. It just looked awkward the way that Brett tried to hit that. You have to rely purely on instinct from a position like that one, and Brett, all his goal-scoring prowess for years in USL Championship, he's got that kind of muscle memory, but it didn't come off for him. Vinyals through the back of his former Richmond teammate, Adrian Bilhard. Scan the QR code to vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard, your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. In behind for Jiba. Fitch caught up to it. The tireless right back has put in another strong shift. Debuting for Spokane Velocity. Lucky Opara, part of the match day squad, but he's gonna have some stiff competition from Fitch, who has been an absolute stalwart for Richmond Kickers. A coup for Lee Wiedman and co, who really picked up some great pieces from around this league in the offseason. A trio of former Tormenta players in Moses Mensah, Nick Spielman, who started today, and goalkeeper Sean Lewis. Budati, low cross, brings Spielman to attention. It looked awkward, but that was about as safe as he could have dealt with that cross. Bilhard feeling the last challenge. Charlie Horst for the German midfielder. It's been very positive in this match. We know just how special he can be with the ball at his feet when he's at his best. Injuries have slowed his success in USL League One, but had a nice stretch to end the season last year in Richmond and trying to hit the ground running today. This is the ICCU Corner Kick, your financial success fan club. Header at the back post, and The whistle goes against Samuel Owusu, who was contending for that cross. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Gill looking for John Brown, and Coleman, spry as ever at age 35, sliding in to eliminate the danger. He and Owusu forming a strong returning partnership at the back for Union Omaha. So important to what Castiato and now Candela's teams do in possession. They've got that defensive quality as well, as does Caceres, who cuts out the pass from Spokane and looks forward. Off the chest, Wooten. The first touch was great, and then in came Cameron Miller. Bilhard, Caceres, Telefaz couldn't quite reach it. Denton has Gill. Joe Gallardo getting a touch in the penalty area. Scooping out across, Nico Brett rises. He heads it low and wide. Got up nice and early for it. Snapped those neck muscles. It's a great effort as Gallardo had to pause for just a half second there to create enough room, and the issue ultimately is that there wasn't enough pace on that cross. It was all up to Nico Brett to generate the power on the header as he was jumping slightly backward. He did his best with it, but unable to trouble Nuhu, who's only had to make one save in this one from Spokane, but it was a good one at that from Luis Gill in the first half. Denton, stabbed forward by Brett. Gallardo. Decent strike. Unclear if he was looking towards the back post for a teammate or for the top corner, but in any case, it ends up in the hands of Nuhu. Couple of bright moments for Velocity FC. Gill at the heart of it all. Measured pass back from Vinyals. The Omaha press slouching just a touch. John Brown switches gears. It's a dangerous ball in. Gallardo arriving late. Impressive defending across the near post. I think that was Budati who tracked him through. John Brown lively. It was Budati covering that near post area. Vinyals in the half space. It deflects in! Spokane will take it. They are off and flying in 2026. A moment nearly from nothing. An unfortunate deflection from Union Omaha, but Spokane had been growing into this match. And they get the reward off the cross from Vinyals. The last touch from Coleman. Hands on heads in blue jerseys. But this game may be about to shift. We finally get our goal. A couple of subs being readied as well. And that does shift this huge occasion. Spokane able to go in front at home. It'll feel like deja vu for Omaha, who have fallen by a 1-goal deficit on every trip here since these two teams have been in USL League One. And on come a pair of League One stalwarts, the defending champion, Kempis Tequila from One Knoxville. The splash signing of the offseason, sporting his signature armband. And Kempis now wearing number 22 in to try to provide a shot to this Omaha attack. Meanwhile, Gabriel Cabral out of South Georgia Tormenta, a 2022 champion, in midfield for Union Omaha, replacing Caceres. Couple swaps as well for Spokane. Moses Mensah, who originally came down from Birmingham Legion to sign with Tormenta, has relocated to Spokane. And they also withdraw the sort of goal scorer in Niels Vinyals, and in comes Andre Lewis in midfield for the home side. So this game with some fresh faces for the final 22 minutes and change. What more is yet to come? Denton trying to work his way around the corner. Hard. Disappointing ball as Budati came on the overlap. Velocity fans, get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. First look at the City Lights kits, and those scarves are matching. See wrapped around some fans on this chilly evening in eastern Washington. 43 degrees at kickoff, and it's dropped a couple since then. Snow in the area this week. You can see it on the back in the mountains and on the edges of this pitch. Hasn't affected the play at all, though. These players have really looked up for it. It's been a great show so far on our standalone game here on Sunday in USL League One between the number 2 and number 3 ranked team in the preseason power rankings. Both trying to start the season off with a big statement of intent. Oh, Luis Gill turning on Cabral. Coleman just about getting there. Gill has been heating up in this second half. It's been central to all the nice passages of play for the home side, as Lewis there to track it down ahead of Horst Navarro. He's been on the fringes for Los Bujos after a 10-goal season last year. Denton spots the run of Simon Fitch. Takes the territory and goes back to his midfield partner, who can play with Andre Lewis. So a completely new midfield 2 from those who started the game. Colin Fernandez forced off with an injury, and then Vinyals, who had the cross that led to the own goal from Coleman, was replaced by Lewis. Showing again the depth of this Spokane roster, very much too deep at every position. And when we say too deep, that is not a starter and a backup. That is 2 players who could potentially be all League One type players at every single position. You think about the stores that Velocity FC have in attack. In Neil Vinyals, Luis Gil, and Derek Waldeck, they have the #1, #2, and #4 ranked players all time in terms of chances created in the history of USL League One. And you're not even gonna see those 3 start every match as they did today. It was Vinyals who created the lone goal for Spokane. Waldeck has been replaced by Moses Mensah at left back. Here comes Kempis Tequila. Bill Hard, another giveaway. His final decision has let him down in the second half. Put in a great cross that really deserved a goal in the first. But Omaha still searching for the breakthrough. Gallardo dispossessed by Budati. Tequila. Trying to create something from deep. Allowing Ors Navarro to press onto the front line. Gabriel Cabral. Fullbacks pushed high and wide for Union Omaha. As they set up shop in the attacking half. Tequila has pressure from behind. That's Gallardo. Good defensive work. He's got a little space to run into, but Spokane moving patiently. Gil just feeling the pressure. Didn't have any runners ahead of him. Gil looking for Fitch. Only man in the box is Nico Brett. Fitch doesn't test his luck with a cross. Opting for the possession, the control. As we enter the final 15 minutes. John Brown. Stab through. Gil is offside. The fans don't know it, but Brett denied a first goal of the season. A timely step from Owusu and Coleman in the heart of the Omaha defense. Can't knock the build-up, though, from Spokane Velocity. There's Gil peeling off, and look at Coleman step up, and then his center back partner sees that, adjusts, and just stays in place, allowing Gil to run offside. Two more switches for Union Omaha as they look to shake up the final quarter of an hour. You see there Sammy Gadiri, and also on comes Diego Gutierrez. Gadiri out of Boca Raton, Gutierrez, a local Omaha man. Gadiri getting right into the action. He can play fullback, but also in midfield, as you see right now. Trying to pull the strings alongside Cabral. Has Budati. Spokane, scan the QR code for your chance to win a free water heater from Raptor Rooter and Plumbing, the proud plumbing partner of your Spokane Velocity. No reason to mess around playing it short at this point for Marancio and co. Coleman. Cabral. Well cut out by Andre Lewis, but it spills out wide. Jiva looking for the cross. A little bit too close to Marancio. Pato, the closest striker for Union Omaha. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Ooh, that might have been a handball. Yep. The assistant has picked it up, so this is on the ground rather than a throw-in. Very accidental from John Brown, who's shown some life in those transitional opportunities that may become more and more dangerous for Spokane as this game grinds through the final few minutes. A dash forward, but they couldn't find the midfielder running through. That was Gutierrez. Kempis, calm as ever. Such a strong and physical frame, happy to play with his back to goal. He had some knee injuries earlier on in his career, and he's spoken about how that helped him learn to play as more of a hold-up player. Putting that to good use and trying to break through with a stooping header. Spokane now playing out with Nico Brett. Yet to look in Anwar Pelaez's direction, Lee Wiedemann. He's got him available on the bench. And in defense of the Spokane head coach, I think Brett has played quite well in this match. Hold-up play has been sensational. Hasn't had a lot of great opportunities. Gill inside of Gallardo. Backheels it back to the former Union Omaha man who goes down, and the referee waves away any shouts of a penalty. Could have been a game-sealing play, and Gallardo snaps back in with a tired tackle on Owusu. So we take another look. Was this a penalty? Gallardo certainly looking for it. Hard to tell exactly from that angle how much ball and how much player Owusu got, but the referee right on top of it, and confident in his decision. No real complaints either from Gallardo, which typically is telling. A key metric for Union Omaha this season they lost 27 of their 48 goals scored last season. The departures of players like Ryan Betcher, Mark Bronick, and of course, Gallardo left a lot of goals for them to replace. They'll hope that the likes of Tequila and Adrian Billhard can help produce some more in the attack, but at this point, Pato has looked lonely up there sometimes. Lawrence Wooten started up top with him from the start of this match. Seeing Gutierrez picking up some of those pockets since he's come in. Of course, Ors Navarro, the leading goal scorer from last season, and he hasn't really had a sniff at goal in this match either. Gutierrez, back for Tequila. Never could get it out of his feet. Does do enough to earn a corner though. Omaha trying to close down the clamps and inundate Spokane with some pressure.
This is the ICCU Corner Kick, your financial success banquet.
Clipped in, Coleman goes for it, so does Marazio. Strong punch from the Velocity goalkeeper. Ten clean sheets last season, 7 minutes away from one to start things off in 2026. Gadiri, well read by John Brown, defending all the way at the edge of the 18-yard box, the right winger. All hands on deck for Velocity FC. 2 banks of 4. As Tequila doubled up, nods it out. Yunus Boudadi, low header. Oh, it almost came free for Gutierrez. Coming in from Monterey Bay in the off-season. 6 appearances in the championship last year, 5 of them off the bench. She's trying to make an impact from the sideline in the closing minutes for his hometown team. That is exactly what Spokane need from Nico Brett. Winning them a free kick and some precious moments to breathe. Scan now for your latest ticket deals for Spokane Velocity FC. You can see those upcoming matches down in the bottom left corner. They got the Cosmos coming to town. High noon kickoff next Saturday here at One Spokane Stadium after a trip to Ventura County in the Open Cup first round on Wednesday. Omaha also going on the road for their first Open Cup fixture. That game will be on CBS Golazo Network. Really excited for the opening rounds of the Open Cup. That's one of those many competitions where Union Omaha has found some success historically. A quarterfinal run back in 2022. They've also made it to the round of 32 since then, and typically able to put together some strong results in America's oldest cup competition. But for now, it's League One action, and 5 minutes to go for Omaha to try to find a response to an own goal from Coleman after the cross from Neil Bignals, who has since departed. As Spokane subs try to close this thing out. A competitive back and forth match from 2 teams expected to fight for the Players' Shield in 2026. Kempis Tequila tried to combine with Cabral. Those new partnerships still forming. 2 of the off-season additions for Union Omaha. Owusu carries it clean. Cabral plotting his way forward. He's got Jiba out to the left. 3 men entering the box for Omaha, but it's dropped back to Gadiri. Spokane shutting down all the passing lanes. It looked like Tequila had a little bit of room to wiggle. Served in. John Brown again defending at the back. Someone was offside in there. And Cabral holding out his hands. As we will get a couple of substitutions ready to go for the home side. Lucky Opara and Anwar Pelaez. So 1 forward, 1 defender coming on. And off go the 2 forward players left on the pitch for Spokane. So a little bit of defensive reinforcement here as Nico Brett and Luis Gill off the pitch. Opara usually playing at right back, but might come on as a right-sided midfielder here, or could be a little bit of a formational change from Lee Wiedemann just to try to close out the final couple minutes. Anwar Pelaez will try to hold the ball up for his team and give them some opportunities to break. Opara taking the armband, but something spotted by the referee to where he needs to go back to the sideline. It's being cleared up with the 4th official and Lee Wiedemann on the scene. So set your watches here. We're gonna have to add this on to stoppage time, and we may go into serious plus territory after we hit the 90-minute mark. Opara, at the moment, is still on the sideline, and I wonder if this is a instance of the substitution timing laws that have recently changed. If a player takes too long to leave the pitch on a substitution, the player who is being brought into the game has to wait on the sideline until the referee allows him onto the field for a minute. So I see Neil Lavity, the assistant for Spokane, setting his watch just to make sure the referee does not keep Opara on the sideline for too long. But this does mean that Spokane will be down a man for about a minute here, as Luis Gill took too long to come off the field. I must say, though, in defense of the Spokane captain, he did come off the field slowly, but he had to remove the armband and pass it off to his teammate, and that took a few extra seconds. There's Opara at the bottom of your shot. So 11 on 10 for Omaha. Briefly, consider this a power play as we head to the final seconds of the 90.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th official has indicated a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Tequila. Oh, that is a big stop from Marancio. Any rebound there, and there was an Omaha player on the doorstep as we are into 6 minutes. This half stoppage time is presented by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort and Hotel. Opara finally allowed to come in. So we are back to 11 on 11. And those new substitution rules, I don't think anybody's gonna forget now. I know Lee Wiedemann will make note, as will the rest of the fans, still adjusting to some of the new IFAB principles. But there's certainly an effective way to stop the slow substitution and wasting of time towards the end of matches. It's to make them go down a man. We learn from experience. So Andre Lewis trying to play it out. John Brown couldn't track it down. Opara defending against Gutierrez, former Monterey Bay man. He's able to get in across, but the run was not quite timed right from Pato Botello Faz. who has been blunt at the tip of the Omaha attack. Ball over the top looking for Gallardo, and he appears to have gone offside. It's gonna feel like a long 4.5 minutes here for Union Omaha. And their fans tuned in at the Cunningham's Pub and Grill, Omaha Parliament watch party. I'm sure that they are biting fingernails and whatever other snacks they can find and refreshments as we head into Sunday evening Central Time on this cold afternoon in Eastern Washington. At some point, Omaha will have to increase the tempo a little bit. Down to about 3 minutes here. Younes Boudadi past the first man. Now help defense comes from Denton. Owusu not letting anything out. Boudadi, Tequila. Owusu. Kadiri trying to slice it through. Ors Navarro sends it back out wide as Gutierrez clips in. Tequila's there. Botello Foz was waiting for it to come through to him, and then it does get the touch from Tequila. Win big at Spokane's favorite casino, Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, located in Airway Heights, as we got another look at that last opportunity. The cross sent somewhere between Tequila and Botello Foz. Nothing doing for Union Omaha. Spokane effectively seeing out the closing stages after going ahead thanks to a Neil Bignol's cross that was deflected in by the Spokane defense. Gutierrez. Cabral brought down. Omaha with no time to waste. Spokane looking for its 4th win in 4 tries at home against Los Bujos in League One play. Everybody forward for Union Omaha. A towering header as Andre Lewis contested Coleman well. Foul whistled against Jiba. That will get Spokane very close to getting over the line here. So many new faces on both of these teams, but expected once again to be towards the top of USL League One, and they've provided a matchup every bit as competitive as we expected. And that does it for the season opener in Spokane. Lee Viedman's team with 3 points on the board, taking down Union Omaha, courtesy of a 67th minute own goal put in the back of his own net by Brett Coleman. Not a lot of chances throughout this match. Hard fought. But these teams are going to see each other again, and they will certainly have a lot to say about the Players' Shield this season. Two teams finding their rhythm. New signings galore. But it was Vinyals coming up with the moment that led to Spokane's goal. We're going to wrap things up after this short break. Highlights and full-time stats coming your way.
De vez en cuando, todos queremos soltarnos. Solo necesitamos un poco de ayuda. Conozca Un Poco de Ayuda. El Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition 2024. Pasa por cualquier terreno para que puedas darlo todo. Obtén una gran oferta en una Bronco Sport hoy mismo. Arrienda una Bronco Sport Wild Edition por $339 al mes por 36 meses o cómpralo con 3.9 por 36 y obtén $2,000 de bono Wild.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one. Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Full time at One Spokane Stadium. The home opener is a win for Velocity FC. A 1-0 scoreline over visiting Union Omaha, who dropped to 0-4 all time in Eastern Washington on the road. A tough test for Velocity in the season opener, and they come out of it spotless. It wasn't the best attacking display, but they can be very proud of a shutout against Union Omaha. Here's how things went down as we take a look at our full-time highlights. Gill almost got things started in the first half as Nico Brett broke free, and showed that connection with the Spokane number 10. Those two connected very well throughout this match. And then it was the new signing, Adrian Billhard, making inroads down the right for Union Omaha. This will be the chance that Ryan Jiba will be thinking about, that long flight back to Nebraska. Billhard with a little hesitation on Waldeck, just to give enough time for Jiba to sneak in at the back post. He was not able to keep his effort on frame. Edri Caceres was one of the standout performers for Union Omaha. He took this free kick, saved by Marancio. May have been the toughest stop he had all day. Really didn't have too much work to do in the Spokane net. Credit to their defense with the new signing, Nick Spielman, partnering well with Cameron Miller. Nico Brett wasn't able to wrap his hips around on the pass from Luis Gill in the second half, but it wouldn't be long after this great opportunity for Spokane before they did eventually find the opening goal. It was a sign of pressure as Spokane withstood a lot of possession from Union Omaha today, and they were able to kind of wait and take their moments throughout the match. They had one really strong stretch in the first half, one really strong stretch in the second, and as the coaches have told me, one of the greatest qualities about Spokane, they don't make mistakes. They don't take themselves out of games. So they hung around until the 67th minute, and then it was some nice build-up that freed Vinyals down the right. And this is our play of the match, brought to you by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Brett Coleman certainly is one of those, but a moment to forget for the veteran center back as he put it in the back of his own net. Omaha fought till the end. Kempis Tequila stabbing one into the dirt, and safe hands from Marancio to see it out for Velocity FC as they start the season off with a W in the win column. So we wrap it up with the full-time stats. 8 shots to 7 in favor of Union Omaha. Slight edge for Velocity in terms of the shots on target, but you can see in the stats this was such an even game. Well contested, just one caution between the two teams, and Union Omaha caught offside as they really tried to push towards the end for this one, but ultimately those 27 goals that departed in the offseason weren't really able to find an answer moving forward, at least in this first match. But there are some green shoots under Vincenzo Candela, as this is Union Omaha's first loss in regulation, get this, since August 16th of last year. They ended the season so hot, and now they've got some wounds to lick after match week 2 in Spokane. The frozen fortress that was one Spokane Stadium, proving to be a happy home once again for the Velocity fans. They start 2026 with a victory, a 1-0 shutout score. And for our producer, Hunter Nixon, my name is Parker Johnson. It's been a thrill to have you along with us this Sunday night. We'll see you next week for more USL League One action.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.